Alrighty. Good morning to everybody. Hope everybody's good. Thanksgiving was good, and that you and your family have a great holiday season coming up right now on Christmas and New Year's. Okay, but on to the what I wanted to talk to you guys about is the whole James Krause thing. On Twitter, I keep seeing this narrative of people are on the right track for the most part, right? They're talking about the injury with James Krause's fighter, Derek Minner, and how he was allowed to fight injured, how he got through his physical, so to speak, right? Because they have to report all that and pass some tests before fighting and whatnot, right? We all know how it goes. And a lot of people are kind of like stuck on that. Well, not a lot of people, but some people are stuck on that. And I don't think that's the issue. I don't think the injury's the issue. There's a lot of fighters that go in there hurt. There's a lot of fighters that go in there injured before fighting. You know, and I think the problem is the whole betting thing. And I know that a lot of you already know that. It's not the injury that should be the focus, or even really the problem. It's more like the gambling, the betting. That's really what it is. James Krause is no stranger. I mean, he's came out and told Ariel Helwani that he's like a betting man, right? He always bets on his fighters. He always bets on every fight card. Makes a lot of money. Claims that he makes more money on betting than anything he's ever done. So the guy obviously loves to gamble. So it turns out that Derek Minner was badly injured on his leg, right? He was already an underdog. But right before his fight going in, those odds became even wider, pretty much. So first round loss to if you bet against Minner, I forgot the other guy's name. If you bet against Minner, you want a certain amount, right? And right before the fight, that thing skyrocketed. Now the problem is the whole gambling thing, the betting thing. It turns out that there's an investigation going on because Minner ends up losing by TKO, discloses his injury on the post-fight interview, which is what brought the microscope into the situation, so to speak. And people saw the betting odds, how they spiked up. And there's an investigation going on, and allegedly what's going on, okay, innocent until proven guilty. But turns out Krause, under family and friends, because he's not going to do it under his name, or he's not going to tell Derek Minner to obviously bet against himself, but amongst friends and colleagues and whatnot, pretty much said, hey, bet against Minner, right? Because he's going to take a dive, pretty much. Well, whether if he said take a dive or he's going to go down. He's going to try, but he's going to go down because badly injured. Easy money. Easy bet right there. And pretty much that's pretty much illegal to do, right? Now the UFC is launching a full investigation. They are banning James Krause and technically anybody that has to do with him, including fighters that are currently in the roster with UFC. They're being banned. Like, hey, if you continue being under his management, coaching, stuff of that nature, you're done. Also, some people are getting upset about that. And I think what's going on here is this is not a move of UFC trying to act like Mr. Big Boss, like showing who's boss. I think they're just protecting the company. It's taken so much for decades to get where the UFC is at with MMA as a sport and mainstreaming it. Finally getting legalized in states. Finally getting all kinds of shit for it. Just for this to happen. People forget that you might have to scroll down the Art of Fight Trolling timeline. But as the ESPN deal was being made years ago, the contract that they got with ESPN was pretty much dog shit. All right, It was pretty much dog shit. And they only had something to work off of, like, I think like $150 million a year or something like that. All right. And that was a downgrade from what they had with, I believe, Fox and whatnot. So I think the reason why the UFC is making such a big deal and they're really going hard on Krause is because of that. You know, who wants to be associated with somebody that has employees, right? Even if they're just independent contractors. Who wants to deal with a company that has a bunch of independent contractors that are doing illegal stuff? ESPN's not going to want to re-sign the deal. They're going to tell them, hey, you know, kick rocks. You know, we don't want that bullshit here, because then we can get involved with it. It all comes down to that. I really think that's what it is. They are securing themselves from being banned, or from not even being able to renegotiate with sponsors, TV deals. You guys know how that works, okay? The money's not really being made at the gate, all right? The money is being made from these deals that people are giving you cash up front for this amount of events, and they're expecting that back, and that money back at a certain specific time down the road, right? And I think that's what it is. They already had to downgrade with ESPN. Whether they renegotiate it and improve that contract, that's something else. But initially, when they had to switch over from, I think it was Fox to ESPN, they downgraded big time. I remember they were not happy with the contract and whatnot. So imagine, you know, that, I think that's what UFC's, I think that's why UFC is going to make an example out of James Krause and anybody that wants to damage the reputation of the company. That's the big issue here, okay? But anyways, that's all I had to say. I just kind of wanted to clarify my point of view, my thoughts on that James Krause thing, as to why the UFC is making such a big deal. And I mean, James Krause is the sacrificial lamb. He's gonna take a hard fall, man. There might be even charges, like criminal charges against him. He's gonna take a fall, and they're gonna make an example out of him.